I swear this chair is gonna fall apart one day from all the scooching. Scooch. It's like years of, not even years. Like, how long have I been doing this show? It'll be 6 months on the 14th. And every day I'm scooching in this chair. And there was no scooching in this chair. This chair was, was doing fine all along. All these years, this chair was just sitting in my house, just where it was. And then the last 6 months, it's like scooch, scooch, scooch. And I feel it rocking. I'm like, gotta get a new chair because this baby is gonna fall apart. Live on the show, we're gonna be like, STEM research. Mike Love took a tumble. He fell and he can't get up. Dragoon Knight 5515, thank you for joining us. The original DJ J.U. Ice, thank you for joining us as well. Stimulators, mount up, STEM research, song tracks, essential music. What's going on, man? How's everybody doing? We are doing this show live on a Wednesday. It's Wednesday night, and I'm feeling good. I'm excited to be presenting the songs that we have today. I'm always excited, and I just thought about it. I was building up so much to this day, I didn't even plan anything for tomorrow. I got to get on that. I'm just going to make it up as I go along. I'm going to go through my list of stems. Don't jinx myself, right. Putting it out in the air is what's going to fuck it up. People are really big believers in putting things into the universe, right? Say it like you said. The more you say it, the more it becomes a thing, right? So you say it, you believe it. It's the secret, right? And I was thinking about that recently. I was just thinking about all of the things that I manifested, and I never said a word out loud. I just manifested in my mind. So I say all that to say that, a lot of obviously what comes out of your mouth starts in your head, but it doesn't necessarily have to come out of your mouth for it to be manifested. Like, you can just dream it and make it happen. One of the last things that I did that, and I've been doing it my entire life, like with remixes. When I got the stems for, and really the reason STEM research exists is because of me getting the stems to Turn Off the Lights by Teddy Pendergrass, and me muting the drums and just listening to the music, and it was so clean, and the drums didn't bleed into any of the instruments at all. And I was just like, wow, this sounds incredible. I could do something with this. And I just listened to the whole thing, and it's Teddy Pendergrass kept going, the song kept going, and all these ad-libs that I had never heard before. And I was like, wow, I'm going to make this into a mix. And when I do, and people hear Teddy Pendergrass with these ad-libs that they've never heard before, they're going to lose their minds. And that is exactly what happened. I never said it out loud. I never spoke it into existence. It was just a thought. And the same thing happened with my Rock Boys remix from Nigerian Gangster. It was all in my head. So things can certainly come. You can certainly manifest things out loud and repeat them and all those other things. And this isn't to take anything away from what J.U. Ice is saying. It's just really got my mind going on something I've been thinking about, is that what you manifest can be internal or external, as long as you take the steps to make that thing happen. You can't just say, I want to be rich every day. You just wake up like you're part of the Callaways. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. I want to be rich. And just say that shit over and over and not take any action. It's like, well, that's nice that you're chanting that every day and you're saying it and you're writing it down in your journal. But what are you doing to become that thing? All right, Simsay08, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. All of you, let's see if I missed anything. DJ Cirquette, I really like that name. I like all you guys' names, right? I like you guys' names, but DJ Circuit, like that's just very, very, very unique. I love unique DJ names. It's just dope. It's dope. So shout out to the dopeness. That's the difference between putting in work to make something happen, and thinking it just going to happen because you said it. A lot of people do a bunch of talking. Preach, MC, preach. Marcus Chapman is here. Mr. Majors, I'm just here for the funk. Lee want the funk. Ha 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 ha. Nice. Hilarious as well. All right, let's dive in, man. I'm not going to talk long today because there's a lot of musical ground to cover. And we're going to start with Parlet, which I was mistakenly pronouncing parlay yesterday, but I have gotten that straight. So Parlet Pleasure Principle will start out today, and we will end. Normally you would start with the main group and then go with the branches from the tree. But let's start with the branches from the tree first and then work our way in. Parlet, 3 ladies that were originally 2. And the dope thing about George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic, the whole thing. When I got the stems for Getting to Know You, which is our second stem of the night from the Clones of Dr. Funkenstein album, they were mislabeled as Funkadelic. I told this story last week. I'm telling it again today. So my connect is a young guy. He's under 40. That doesn't mean that you can't be a true musicologist. It does not mean that. It's just that he don't really care. So he had the song labeled as Funkadelic, Getting to Know You, and I was like, bro, I don't know a song called Getting to Know You by Funkadelic. So I did a search, and Getting to Know You by Parliament came up, and I'm like, bro, please, there is a difference. Stop this. I hate when people okay, so they would tour as Parliament Funkadelic, The Brides, Parlet, Bootsy, and it was all the same people. Okay, maybe Parlet came out. Maybe Parlet came out and did a 2 or 3 minute thing, but they sure went in the back and started singing backgrounds. Same with the Brides. If the Brides were on the bill, yeah, they sang Disco to Go, and then they went their asses right back in the back and started singing background for the rest of the thing. I felt somewhat cheated when I went to go see the Aqua Boogie Tour in 1978 because I knew this was all one big thing, but it was billed as Parliament, Funkadelic, the Horny Horns, da-da-da. Like, come on, bro. It's just one group that keeps splitting itself up into 2. But here's the thing. There is a difference musically, aesthetically, the look and feel, the album covers, Pedro Bell on the Funkadelic joints, Overton Lloyd on the Parliament, at least on the Motor Booty Affair and the Glory Halla Stupid, and some other work that he did. I'm a little partial to Overton Lloyd because Pedro Bell shit was just over the top, super over sexualized. It was crazy, bro. That's getting into the albums. I'm gonna get back to my point of parlay and playing the stems, but we must speak about the funk. Aesthetically, Parliament is just funky, right? Horns everywhere. Not a lot of horns on your Funkadelic songs. Do the research. Look through a lot of keyboards, a lot of keyboard horns, not a lot of horns. A lot of horns on Parliament songs. So that in itself, Parliament is based in funk, Funkadelic is based in rock, and eventually became this group that was this underground funk rock kind of off the Sly Stone. So much plays off of Sly Stone and what he was doing in the late 60s. So Parliament Funkadelic is James Brown and Sly Stone, combined to make these great bands. Parlet and the Brides of Funk, I keep calling them Parlet, because I've been calling them Parlet all along. So I have to stop that and call them by their name, Parlet. Parlet, the group that gave us the song that we're playing, which is Pleasure Principle, they initially were two girls. The two girls that were, and all of these girls were just background singers and that's what George Clinton wanted to do. He wanted to take people from the background, give them some personality, shine them up a little bit, and put them in the front, and of course make some money off of it. He did it with Bootsy successfully. Bootsy Collins never wanted to be a front guy. He never wanted to be a main performer. But George was like, nah, man, you can do it. And he did it. I mean, with the help of the Funk Mob, all of the same people that you look in the credits, you see all the names, the George Clintons and the Fred Wesleys and the Gary Scheiders and all of the names on all of the songs, because it was just this conglomerate, but everything felt different. Bootsy's stuff felt different, and that's because of Bootsy's personality that kind of led into that. He tried to do the same thing with Parlet and the Brides of Funkenstein. The only thing was those girls were singers. Bootsy had been a player and a writer for quite some time, and plus George and Bootsy, whether you're talking Parlet, whether you're talking Brides of Funkenstein or Bootsy's spinoff girl group, God Mama here. He had a group called God Mama. They had one album. They weren't as successful with girl groups as they were with the groups of guys for whatever reason. And according to members of Parlet, George lost his initial interest in the group. The group was initially Debbie Wright and Jeanette Washington. It was going to be a duet. And then Melia Franklin joined, and now it's a trio. Unfortunately, Debbie had a serious drug problem. I know what you're saying. Didn't everybody in the P-Funk All-Stars have a drug problem? Not as bad as Debbie, so much so that they had to kick her out of the group and replace her, unfortunately. And according to members of the band, Parlet, George didn't feel the same way about the group after Debbie, because Debbie and Jeanette are like OGs. Like, they go back in the Parliament Funkadelic fam. Marcus Chapman, I have not had a chance to read the comments since I started talking, but Marcus Chapman is a full-fledged Funketeer, knows any and all things. So as he comments and chats, as well as Mr. Majors, both heavy Funketeers, please soak in their words and the things that they say, because they are truly experts, and we will have some other experts joining us in the chat. I'm sure my man Doc B will be in as well. Dawn Silva is my Facebook friend. She's real down to earth. Dawn Silva, of course, one of the original Brides of Funkenstein. So there were two brides, and then there were going to be two members of Parlet. And George's like, nah, let's do three, because, you won't be able to tell the difference. And the biggest difference between Parlet and the Brides is simply a hit record. Disco to Go was a big record in 1978. Like Parliament Funkadelic big. Like, it was a smash. And that is not something that Parlet can say. However, they do have what we call in Chicago a deep house classic. I say this all the time on this show, and the definition of deep house to Chicago DJs is, if it was played by Frankie and Ronnie, it's deep house. I don't care if they played hip hop, bebop, or Watch the Closing Doors. Damn it, those records are house now. and Parlet, Pleasure Principle, came out in 1978. Definitely got a lot of burn. Definitely got burned on the college disco radio stations. And it's a disco record. It's a record that came out in the midst of the disco craze on the disco label, Casablanca Records and Filmworks. Sure, there was a lot of funk that came out on Casablanca as well. Sure, Cameo. Sure, Parliament. Sure. But they're mainly, and well, Kiss, right? A lot of stuff came out on Casablanca. It was like one of the biggest labels of all time. In that little space, like 75 to 80, was killing the game. But I digress. We're talking about Parlet now. So this song is, and it's interesting because the version in the stems, the album version on the Pleasure Principle album is about 8.5 minutes long, which is nice and long. But this version, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do something different because I want the people that know the song to see how different the stems are from the song. It's the same song. It's the same instruments. I'm not giving you no fake stems because you know your boy don't do that. But I'm going to let the vocal on the album, because there was never a 12-inch, which is one of the weirdest things in the world. Like, how does Casablanca put out a record? But that just goes to show that they weren't promoting this group at all. When you didn't come out with a 12-inch and you have a disco record and all you have is a 45 in the album, they're not promoting you at all. So the album version, which is the long version of the song, the 8.5 minute version, starts out with a drum beat, and then it goes right into the singing. It doesn't work like that on the stems. Normally on stem research, I start out with instrumental, and then we work our way back. What I'm going to do is let you guys hear how different the stems are from the regular song. Now, if you've never heard Pleasure Principle, you should have done your research. You knew. This is homework. When I give you guys the name of the songs the night before, if you don't know them, you're supposed to look them up and listen to them and get yourselves ready. All right? So, and I've never said that. Mike Love, we didn't even know that. We didn't even know we were supposed to do that. I thought you were just telling me what was on the show tomorrow so I'd come back. It was really homework. So I'll start it. I'll let it play. I'll let the vocals come in, and then I'll take the vocals out, and then we'll vibe with the instrumental for the rest of the way, and then we'll break down the instruments one by one, blah, 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 etc., etc. I'm getting a lot of homework tonight. Dorothy Scott, thank you for joining us. Yeah, homework. This is class. STEM research is a class, and I teach it Monday through Friday at 8 o'clock Central, 9 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. All right? So let's see who's in the chat. Let's see what folks are talking about before I move forward. Gil Knight, thank you for checking in. Dr. B is here. Debbie was really strung out on George. She couldn't handle him being with other women and basically had a nervous breakdown. Ah, got it. They sure made the other girls kick her out. We're not going to do it. Man, they love them some George Clinton. You know, and George, there's a funk documentary there's a documentary about Parliament Funkadelic on Amazon Prime. So if you got Amazon Prime, you can watch it for free. And they basically talk about that. They basically talk about like how all the girls were there for the band. I mean, it's just, when I say the 70s was a different time, it was a different time. It was like, not only are you the background singer, but you're having sex with George Clinton tonight. Okay. Like, what are you going to do? Say no? Not be in the band? All right. Give me a rock and we're good to go. All right, let's dive in. Pleasure Principle. So, I got to switch it to Logic Pro. All right, there we go. So, as you look at the screen, you can see that the vocals, which are muted and in dark gray, so the tracks that are blue and white are music tracks that are not muted, meaning that you can hear them. The gray tracks are tracks that are muted, meaning you can't hear them. So I'm going to unmute everything and play the song from the beginning and let it get like maybe a little bit of the vocals, and then I'm going to mute the vocals back out. So you can see how much they had to work with when they were putting this song together. Pleasure Principle from Parlet kicks off STEM research. I hear you on that, MC. That documentary on Amazon Prime is more or less a George Clinton hit piece. It's like, fuck George, he stole everything, but he gave us drugs. Like, that's all it's about. Like, well, y'all took the drugs? Could have been a 12-inch. Just the way it's structured. It's structured like a 12-inch. It's the 12-inch version that was never released. Isn't that amazing? Here come the vocals. It literally is put together like a 12-inch. Isn't that crazy? It's the 12-inch that never came out. I would say Casablanca dropped the ball, but George Clinton didn't care. Rodney Skeet Curtis on bass. Extra vocals that aren't on the album. Oh yeah, this is the real deal. Let's see. I love that the name Skeet was like a real nickname in the 70s and 60s, and it had absolutely nothing to do with sex. Like, that was a name. Like, we had a Skeet on my block. Like, he was a kid named Skeet. It was his family nickname. You need to make that my MFN version. So if you are new to STEM research, we start out our breakdown of a song by listening to the instrumental to get an idea of what makes the song great, but without the vocal. Because we're always concentrating on the vocals, and the girls did a magnificent job on the vocals on this song. What the heck? What the? Oh, I'm sorry. All right. My CPU needs to take a break. Forgive me. 9:46. Thank you for joining us. First one I heard play Present Principle was Lee Collins on WHBK in January 1986. C500 number 192. So you guys are clear, and if you don't know much about Parlet, the group, they are a funk group. They are a spinoff of Parliament, hence the name, right? Parlet. The weird thing is, like, you might hear this and think to yourself, oh, are they, is this George Clinton trying to do disco, or maybe this is the disco George Clinton wanted to do but didn't do it himself. And I think it's just a style. Like, the Brides have a song called Disco to Go, and it's not disco. These girls have an actual disco record. But it's not disco, it's deep house. Alrighty. All types of musical breakdowns. Listen to this. George and them went all out. They got strings, y'all. Strings on a Parliament production. Bass, of course. Dropping all the gems tonight. Oh, that's old. I forgot to mute that. But, yep. There's whole vocal takes that never made the song. That's Debbie. They got kicked out of the group. You can look at the track. It says Debbie ad-libs on the fade. These girls were singers, but this was their first time going in the studio to sing lead on songs. Right? They had already started working on some music when it was just a duo, when it was just Debbie and Jeanette. And then when Melia joined, she added her flavor to it, and they became a trio. Well, that's funny that you say that, because one of the girls from the group called her Melia in a video. So a lot of times we see their names, how it's spelled. But if somebody calls somebody that she sang with called her Melia, then that's what I'm going to call her. If that's not how you pronounce her name, and the girl in the group, Jeanette, got it wrong, then she just got it wrong. She's just that's like me calling Marcus Chapman, I don't know, Darkest Chapman. Marcus Chapman, you know? Darkest. Oh, my man Marcus Chapman. No, it's Chapman. Either way, again, when I do research for these shows, I watch videos, I try to find interviews, etc., etc. So, but thank you, as I always say, man. Thank you for your input. Please correct me. But also correct Jeanette Washington while you're at it, because she's calling her own girl by the wrong name. This song won't end. We're at the 12-minute mark. They really made, listen, look, they really made an extended version of that song that never was released. All right, let's start out. Let's break it down. Let's break the track down. Let's start out with the drums. Sounds like a loop. right, so we're gonna play Build a Track, because guess what? Am I gonna sit here and listen to 12 minutes of drums and then 12 minutes of bass and then 12 minutes of guitar? I don't think so. And I'm not gonna do that to you either. Oh, there's bass. There's 2 bass tracks. I'm sorry. Extra thick. S.T.E.M research. All right, let's do what we do. Let's operate on the track. This is the Eli horn solo, as it is labeled on the track. All right, let's get some guitar in. Sounds amazing. Bad man on the bass. Percussion is hungry all throughout the track. It's full from eating well. Bass out. Uh-oh. I think I hear a little woo. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bernie Worrell. Guitar definitely sounds like some underwater boogie. Just some interesting sounds. Let's take all the drums out. Underwater guitar. Strings. Take the guitar out. Take the clarinets out. Detroit strings. All right, that's it. That's it. All of the instruments all in one big group. We went through everything. We went through the strings, went through the tubas and horn solos, the clarinets, all the bass. As you can see, these are the bass tracks. And the bass actually ends about at the 9.5 minute mark. So there's bass. Skeeter's playing the bass from like the 20-second mark to 9 minutes, and then he's done. So the bass solo in the song is probably edited that way, or they drop all of the other instruments out. So that bass solo is given, like, you know, all of this main, put in the forefront, I should say. All right, let's go to the vocals. The girls from Parlet, with all of the extra vocals that are not on the album. Let's hear it. Let's get into it.
Happiness is in the pursuing. Don't you get bored with what you're doing. Every biting with the chewing, and the pleasure principle is for wooing. Every biting with the chewing, and the pleasure principle is for wooing. Da da, da dee lee da da, da dee lee da da, da da da, da dee lee da da. Da dee lee da da da.
So that chant was borrowed or stolen by the Sugar Hill Gang and also Spoonie G. No. Busy Bee. Busy Bee used it in Wild Style. So, Busy Bee and the Sugar Hill Gang. I know the Sugar Hill Gang had it in a whole song.
Happiness is in the pursuing. Don't you get bored in what you're doing. Every bite ain't worth your chewing. And the pleasure principle is for wooing.
These girls are bad, man. That's nice. I love that. Let's back that up. That stack. Let's take that out.
And the pleasure principle is for wooing.
Super nice, man. These girls are bad, man. They've been singing for years. Background. Now they finally get the lead.
Da da, da dee lee da da, da dee lee da da, da da da, da dee lee da da, da dee lee da da, da da da, da dee lee da da, da dee lee da da, da da.
Oops.
Da da, da dee lee da da, da dee lee da da, da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see da, da dee lee da da, da da, da dee lee da da, da da, da dee lee da da, da da, da dee lee da da. Da da, da dee lee da da, da da, da dee lee da da, da da, da dee lee da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, 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 dancing. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, shining in the night? And the pleasure principle is for
Oh, I love it. Those are true funkadelic backgrounds, or funk backgrounds, I should say. Just the phrasing, incredible.
Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing?
Harmony's
Did
incredible.
you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing?
Debbie, take it away.
Have you ever seen your lucky starship dancing, shining in the night?
Killed it. Oh, there's more to come. Come on.
Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Shine on.
Uh-oh, we have ad-libs.
Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing, dancing? Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dilly 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 da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dilly 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 da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dilly 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 da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dilly 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 da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dilly 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 da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing?
Take the leads out, or it's front grounds as you see them labeled.
See your lucky starship. Have you ever seen your funky starship dancing in the sky? Dilly 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 da da. Hot dilly da da. Hot dilly da da. Dilly 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 da da. Hot dilly da da. Hot dilly da da. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing in the sky? Did you ever see your lucky starship?
These girls work on vocals, boy.
Dancing
They
in
meant
the
that shit.
sky.
Like, this is some incredible stacks for 78.
Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dancing. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dancing. Did you ever see your lucky starship dancing? Dancing. Did you ever see your lucky
Come on, Debbie.
dancing? Dancing. Did you dancing?
Ah, magnificent, epic. Another one on STEM research. Lost vocals, never used vocal parts, stuff that didn't make the record. Incredible backgrounds, lead singing. Man, big up to Parlet. Big up to those ladies, man. They absolutely killed that shit, man. I never liked it, was disappointed when I bought it from House of Song as a teen. All right, and we'll just certainly. But the funk cuts on there are bangers. That was when it came out or later. Oh, he bought it when it came out. Come on, bro. That's a funketeer. All of this is extra. Yep, it sure is. It sure was. So all of that, you consider that a bonus. Consider that your bonus breaks, your bonus beats from our first stem. We still have our second stem of the night yet to come. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back on the other side with Parliament's Getting to Know You. It's STEM research. Works a little longer than normal. What's going on, Michael? All right. STEM research. Mike motherfucking love. What's up? Welcome back. It's Funk Night. It's Funk Night. Put your funk fists up. Put your horns, put your horny horns in the air. All right, that joint we played, Pleasure Principle from Parlet, went number 66 on the Black Chart. Absolutely no promotion whatsoever. And they got some chunky little funk tracks on there. If you're not a fan, if you never listen, you know, their albums are on streaming services, and of course everything is on YouTube. So give it a listen. Give their songs a listen. They got some funk tracks. So whether you like deep house or not, they do come with the funk. And speaking of coming with the funk, it is time for Parliament. Getting to Know You from 1976, the clones of Dr. Funkenstein, which of course is where the name Brides of Funkenstein comes from, because Dr. Funkenstein is a play off Dr. Frankenstein, and the Brides of Funkenstein, of course, is a play off the Brides. Yep, I'm not even going to finish it. You get it. The whole mythology of George Clinton and Parliament is something to behold in and of itself. It is its own language. When I was a kid, I was just like, oh, they're high. They're high. They're taking drugs. This doesn't make sense to me. But it makes sense to my Funketeers who've listened to every song, every word, digested all of the insides of the album covers, because that's the only way it makes sense. The way it makes sense is you listen to all the songs, you read all the liner notes, all of the cartoons, you read all of that, and you see how it is this interconnected world that's really trippy and crazy, but also absolutely genius. The Mothership Connection, Chocolate City. They were calling DC Chocolate City way before anybody. Way before. The guys break out with the Mothership Connection album in 1975. That's their breakthrough, not taking anything away from the Chocolate City album, which has some bangers on it as well. But Mothership Connection, that's the one that pushed them through, because now we're talking hits. Are we talking hits on the Clones album? Not so much. But the following album, Funkentelechy and the Placebo Syndrome, it's a rap. It's a fucking rap. These guys are already like, this album, The Clones of Dr. Funkenstein, is a funk fan favorite, right? It's got Dr. Funkenstein is on this da 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 da. Like, I would not be mistaken in saying that this album is a favorite of Parliament fans. Like, true funketeers, like deep funk heads, love this album. Do That Stuff, which starts out with an incredible drum solo. These are the songs that I wish my Connect had stems for. When he told me, I've got stems for Getting to Know You by Funkadelic, I'm already pissed. And Everything Is on the One, which is basically a filler track, because let's be honest with ourselves, they made filler tracks to fill an album up in the 1970s. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Everything Is on the One is a main song on this album. There's some 2-3 minute instrumentals, and then there's the good stuff. The good stuff on this album is Children of Production, Do That Stuff, and Dr. Funkenstein. Those are the slammers. Not saying the hits. Those are the ones where you're like, okay, I'm with this. Then you have Gaming on You, and the song that we are presenting tonight on this show, Getting to Know You, or Getting to Know You. Let me just say that Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns have just when they stepped in to the funk family, the Parliament family. Let's not say Parliament Funkadelic, because they don't play on any Funkadelic songs, because there's nary a horn on a Funkadelic song. Maybe Uncle Jam Wants You. I think there's a horn on that. Uncle Jam wants you to funk with him. Okay, you got me on that one. Everything else is keyboards. But that said, they really took the bull by the horns, which is really just a continuation of what they were already doing with James, Mr. Brown. So they had all those great years with JB's doing their thing, incredible, blah, blah, blah. George does what? Pushes Fred out in front, and now Fred Wesley has a record deal and comes out with records on Atlantic. That just goes to show the incredible reach of, and of course, George Clinton's name is all on that album too. So make sure he was getting his chop. So you had Horny Horns solo albums, Fred Wesley and the Horny Horns. They, of course, played on the Bootsy albums, did major work, arranged all the horns, and even bought our favorite white boy in to play horns as well. And he absolutely killed it. White Boy Rick, the original White Boy Rick. James wasn't paying, and George fucked up the money too. Yep. No horns on Uncle Jam either. See? There you go. They're keyboards that sounds like horns. What's the song is it Uncle Jam Wants You, the one where Felipe Wynn is talking like I'm a soldier? I don't know. Anyway, I love that album. That's my favorite Funkadelic album. That said, we're speaking of the funk, right? All the things that come together, bass, drums, and the mythology that is Clones of Dr. Funkenstein. And just the whole, what did I have presented? Let me get this. Look at this. Look at this picture. Overton Lloyd knew what butts were going to look like in 2021 back in 1978. Look at that. That's what butts look like today. And he was like, no, this is going to be the insert for a Parliament album. And that's what butts look like today. That was just a drawing. Now they really look like that. Overton Lloyd, my friend, you were a genius, an absolute genius. But, again, these inserts, the insides of the albums were and this isn't the Clones of Dr. Funkenstein album. This is their album from 1978. What's the Aqua Boogie album? And it's my favorite artwork on a Parliament album. It's my absolute favorite because it has the bird in the back and Sir Nose on the front covering his ears. And I just always picture that and him going, ah, ah, ah. And it's just the greatest, one of the greatest album covers. Right, Motor Booty Affair. My favorite album of all time, bar none. Well, there you go. There are the Motor Booties. You want to know what a Motor Booty Affair looks like? That's what it looks like. Let's go back. There it is. Motor Booty Affair. That's my favorite Parliament album cover. They all tell a bizarre, unique story. They all do. But it's this album cover, it's all just a continuation of everything they talk about on every album. And it's like Sir Nose. It's wow. And the bird. The commercial is on YouTube. And the commercial helps to explain it and makes it make more sense than I could ever make it make. All right, here's Overton Lloyd. I'm sorry, Pedro Bell. This is Pedro Bell's work. Oops. Always had to have something overly sexual on all the Funkadelic albums, but mostly all of the Funkadelic albums had Pedro Bell's artwork. All right. I remember seeing the commercial for the album on TV. Electric Spankings of War Babies was classic. All right, Funketeers. You've been waiting, and it is here. Let's go. Let's switch this out from Pleasure Principle. Let's also switch the Logic Pro screen to Getting to Know You. Let's dive into it, shall we? All these tracks of greatness. The green Parliament logo stood out too. It was normally red, orange, or yellow. Yeah, that's my favorite. That album cover. It's just like you just held the album and just, what does all of this mean? Why is there a big bird and why is he covering his ears? And again, the commercial tells part of the story. But in my head in 1978, when we walked around the hallways of Morgandale going, ah, 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 or I think that was Shoals by then. Yeah, we were in Shoals by then. So we were in Shoals Middle School, and kids would be walking up and down the halls going, ah, in 78 and 79 because Aqua Boogie was that big. But we're talking about Getting to Know You. So let's dive in. Yup, the Whirlwind Pyramid, absolutely. Elliot Range, thank you for joining us. We have all the vocal tracks muted. Let's dive into some Parliament on STEM research. Vega did an edit of Getting to Know You? Shit. What's that? House this up? Dang it. Like, George and them, like, the band stopped. They were like, what? Louis Vega did what with our record? George Clinton on the Dolphins with the boombox. Oh my God. So much greatness. I bought the underwater poster at the concert. That's not something that was in the album. It's like concert only. Remember posters at a concert, bro? That's old school. I don't want a t-shirt. I want to get that poster. Like, who says that now? Like, yeah, sell me that poster. My cousin. We had enough money for the underwater boogie poster. I just remember they were underwater on the poster. I don't know what happened to the poster. It was like 12. Woo on piano. Woo on synth. You can hear him. just got too many windows open. I'm sorry. My computer is like, bro, what are you doing? Let me close some of these windows as the music continues to play on. Forgive me. This is on the record. This is all extra, ladies and gentlemen. This is all extra. We have a funk jam session right now. A funk jam session. Crazy, man. Crazy. Getting to know you. The 7-minute version. 7 minutes and some change. Song's not that long on the album. Not at all. Let's start out with some drums, courtesy of. And also the same with the Parlet song from earlier. We have drummers listed on the album, but not individual songs. So, Jerome Braley, Bootsy Collins, and Gary Mudbone Cooper played drums on the album. Good guess is one of those three played the drums on this song. As far as the Parlet song is concerned, who played drums on that album? That was Jim Wright, Frank Waddy, Bootsy Collins, Gary Cooper, or Jerome Braley. So more the same for the most part. All right, let's get into the drums. Now, this is going to be some funky drumming right here. That's snare mic'd. Bass drum mic. Hi-hats and snare. We have two bass players on this song. Two, not one, but two. Or it's bass 1.1. So 1.1 is like, well, this is a bass we might use. Not that they use both of them simultaneously. It's just one take of bass playing. All right, let's see what bass 2 sounds like. That's the one they went with. All right, let's let the bass player. Bootsy Collins. Guitars on the album, courtesy of Gary Scheider, Michael Kid Funkadelic Hampton, and Glenn Goins. Let's give Bootsy a break. Let some more guitar eat. Who says a funk band can't play rock? That's Kid Funkadelic right there. That's definitely Michael Hampton. Definitely. It has his signature written all over it. Knee Deep Breakdown, Kid Funkadelic. guitar on that. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. It's time for my man Bernie Worrell to eat. Let's get some pianos. Let's get some synths in here. Horny Horns up next. Horny Horns up next. Oops. And the funk stops. And the funk starts. And the funk stops. And the funk starts. Let me move the cursor up a little bit. There we go. Let's let the horns eat a little bit. Nice. Horny Horns, Bernie Worrell. A little woo. Come on, Bernie. Come on, Bernie. Let's go. It's a funk jam. Fred Wesley, Maceo Parker, Rick Gardner, Michael Brecker, Randy Brecker, Horny Horn Section. Incredible. All right, it's vocal time, and this song does not have George Clinton on vocals like George would occasionally do. He would pass the microphone off to a member of the band to let them get some shine on a song or two. Of course, George is featured prominently on all the hits. Album cuts sometimes, let Gary Scheider do that. Felipe Wynn, we got you over here on Funkadelic album. Sure, no problem. But George's voice is prominently missing. But let's see what we have here.
3, 4, 1. Getting to know you is one of the things that I've chose to do. Baby, I love you and the world that's around you. I said, getting to know you was one of the things that I chose to do. Baby, I love you.
All right, back
and
to the main
world that surrounds you.
Gary Scheider.
Now that I know you as one of the things that makes life real, baby, I love you and the world that surrounds you. Shit, getting to know you is one of the so yeah, a love like this I never knew I could feel. Who think that I love you, mama? After all of the things that I've brought you through, baby, I love you and the world that surrounds you. Getting to feel you is one of the things I've grown to feel. Baby, I love you and the world that surrounds you. I said getting to show you is some of the things you make me see, baby. I love you and the world that surrounds you.
Let's see what vocal 2 sounds like.
Shit, getting to know you. Hey, baby. Is one of the things I hold so dear. A love like this I never knew I could feel. Who think that I love you? After all of the things I've put you through, baby, I love you and the world that surrounds you. Baby, I love you.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love
you. Baby, I love you.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love
you.
All right, just the backgrounds.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
All right, so we have a vocal break.
Wow, getting to know you, hey, baby, is one of the things I hold so dear. Love like this I never knew I could feel. Who think that I love your mama? After all of the things that I've put you through, baby, I love you and the world that surrounds you. Turn around, back up and hit me 3 times, babe.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
Back to 2.
Say, baby, I love you.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
Woo-wee, baby, I love you.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
Baby, I love you.
Baby, baby, I love you.
I love you, girl.
Baby, baby, I love you.
Hey, baby.
Baby, baby, I love you.
I love you, girl.
Baby, baby, I love you.
Alternate vocal takes. STEM research. That's what we specialize in.
Baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
Baby, mama, baby, hey, Lordy.
Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, baby, I love you.
Lordy, I wanna stand up and sing, baby, I love you. Oh, Lordy. Thanks to Dr. Frankenstein, he made you all mine. Hey, baby, I love you. Oh, Lordy. Oh, Lord. I said, baby, I love you. No matter, hey, baby. Lord. Baby, I love you. I love you. Baby, baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. Baby, I love you. Baby, 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 baby. Oh, Lord. Thanks to Dr. Funkenstein, the man made you a friend of mine. Oh, baby.
There you go. Thanks to Dr. Funkenstein. Staying true to the theme of the album. Gary Scheider on lead vocals. Parliament. Getting to Know You. In all their grand glory. And look at that. Ending right on time. Playing a little bit of all the instruments. You don't get this anywhere else on the internet. Who else is breaking down Parliament Funkadelic stems? Who else has some of the biggest Parliament Funkadelic fans he knows in the chat? Dropping knowledge, stimulating conversation in the chat, of course, from the stimulators. Shout out to everybody that had a good time and made this show what it was tonight, man. That's why I wanted to get into some funk stems, because I knew that the Funketeers would come through with the information. That is why we're here. Everyone is here to learn. Some people know a little bit more than others on some things, and then we can all learn from other things, right? I know a little bit about this. They know a little bit about that. It's stimulating conversation. Man. George Clinton Parliament Funkadelic, man. Absolute brilliance. Brilliance, I tell ya. Man, you learn something every day, Mr. Ton. I do too. I love it. Stemdelics. The Funkadelic crew is the Stemodelic crew. All episodes are available on YouTube. So watch the videos, share the videos. We don't, the videos are not shared on Twitch. So that is our home base. If you watch the shows on Twitch, they immediately disappear after they are done. But as I said, YouTube and Twitter is where you can go. Mike MFN Love is the label. Shout out to the funk. All right, man, we got to get out of here. Let's see. Let's get some more funk as we leave. Thank you all for being a part of what we do. Tomorrow we'll be back with 2 new stems. I don't know which ones at the time, but we will. Friday will be a best of show. So make sure you are checking us out. Shout out to those people who are in the chat right now, chatting, and those who are laid back, lurking. Shout out to Blue Song High 77, Claire Sir Shystery or C History. Claire Sir C History. I like Shy Story because it makes it sound Chicago. DJ H. Lee, DJ Chucky Charles, DJ Circuit, thank you. Dr. B. MKE, thank you. Dragoon Knight 5515, thank you. Eastern 001, thank you. Elliot Range, thank you. IDRY Sky, SKAI, thank you. Jenk, thank you. King T7, thank you. Maddie and Son. Marcus Chapman and Mr. Majors, thank you for all of your stimulating conversation today on the funk and the players and everything else. Thank you. Miss Jatan, thank you. Exclusive, thank you. Prior Inc., thank you. Ray Llanos, thank you. St. John 46, thank you. Shrewd Albert, thank you. Virgo Pros, Tiz Cloud, Spike Trap Claire. All of you, thank you so much for being here and being a part of what we do. Let's see who's rateable. Who can we rate tonight? A lot of fun this week. A lot of great songs, a lot of great stems. We'll break down some rap tomorrow. What do I got on the rap stems? What do I got on my desktop? Let me see here. Whatever I got on this desktop, I gotta clear it off. It's causing a problem with my DAW. We can't have that. Let's see what I got here. Dr. Dre and Ice Cube, Natural Born Killers. That is like the loudest, scariest song that was ever pressed in the 1990s. I was like, I'm scared. You know, like you thought Dr. Dre and Ice Cube getting back together was gonna be like, oh, it was like the scariest song, and it was called Natural Born Killers, and all they did is talk about killing people. It's like, yikes. All right, so I'll figure out what we have tomorrow, and we'll post it. Post it up. Who can we raid? Who can we invade? Is it Wednesday? Tomorrow's Thursday? These days are just all one day, as far as I'm concerned. TJ Alicia. Yep, that's where we're going. Have yourself a good night. Class is dismissed. The Queen. Let's raid DJ Alicia. Oh, I got Mystic Brew. Damn. I'll figure it out. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'll figure it out. And I'll let you guys know on the socials tomorrow. Have yourself a good night. As I said, class is dismissed. Funketeers.